GIRLSET, we need a chat. It's no secret that there has been a recent boom of global girl groups entering the Western market, all competing for our attention. The general public is already familiar with one major household name in that space, and naturally, every new global girl group gets measured against that benchmark. Enter GIRLSET, what many people view as JYP Entertainment's direct response to that growing girl group demand. Since their rebranding, they've slowly been carving out a place for themselves, and with each new release, the conversation surrounding them has only gotten louder. With a few songs under their belt, has GIRLSET finally nailed down their sound, or are they borrowing from their competitors to see what it's like? Hey guys, welcome back to Summers with Wayde. At this point, GIRLSET is basically a staple on the channel. A lot of you actually found me through my coverage of them, so they really need no introduction here. Almost a week ago, they came back with their fourth single, Chat, and I've been sitting with my thoughts ever since. I don't want this video to be taken as hate for the girls or anyone mentioned in this video for that matter. I just wanted to voice my opinion, especially after some of you have asked me about it. The song itself is a vibrant, hyperpop infused hip-hop track centered around being confident and staying united in the face of online gossip or social media noise. Something that really stood out to me throughout the song is the concept of influence. The idea that people are constantly talking about them, watching them, reacting to them, and ultimately unable to ignore them. With this song, GIRLSET leans into that spectacle. The lyrics frame that attention as proof of their star power. Whether the chatter is positive or negative, the group positions themselves as the center of the conversation. I think that context is important. The more I looked into this comeback, I realized the song is more personal to the members than it might appear on the surface. From what I found online, the concept was inspired by the members' own interest in gaming and streaming culture. I also read through their Forbes interview for this comeback, and the girls made it very clear that they've had input when it comes to choreography, lyrics, concepts, and other creative decisions. It hasn't always been that way, but over time, the trust between the members and their label seems to have grown. Knowing that definitely changes the way I approach the song. It doesn't erase my criticisms, but it does add a layer of understanding. That said, I've praised GIRLSET heavily for their previous two releases because it felt like the group was finally carving out a lane that played to their strengths. Little Miss and Tweak both leaned into a much more vocally focused Y2K R&B sound. Personally, I love that style, and I wasn't shy about how much I enjoyed these songs because they highlighted the members' tones, harmonies, and overall vocal chemistry. When compared to other groups, it felt distinctive, but most importantly, it felt like GIRLSET. With Chat though, it feels like the group has taken a sharp turn into a much more current and hyperpop sound. Like I hinted at in the intro, that immediately invites comparisons to Katseye. Whether that comparison is fair or not is another discussion, but it's unavoidable. The glitchy production, the chanting, the digital or online aesthetic, the nonsensical vibe, it all exists in a lane that listeners already associate with someone else. Now, to be clear, there is absolutely nothing wrong with experimentation. In fact, the members themselves have said they want to explore different sounds and genres without losing who they are. I actually find that quite admirable. A group this new should be allowed to experiment and try things. Take the risk and figure out what fits them. Even if it doesn't work, they still have room to grow. That's part of developing an artistic identity. And that comment specifically is what kept me grounded with this release. On the surface, Chat can come across as just another chaotic brain rot song. But to GIRLSET's credit, there does seem to be a more intentional message underneath it. Like I said, it's about being watched or judged and choosing to stay confident anyway. Compared to other songs in the lane, it does have a clear thematic purpose. As it stands, I don't think the song is bad, it's fun and energetic, plus it's undeniably more mature than their previous releases, even going as far as including stronger language. Depending on who you ask, it's not even that shocking, but it does signal that the group is trying to present a slightly older image. I also have to be honest, there are definitely parts of the song that I do enjoy. The post-chorus being one of them because it gives the song a bit more momentum and melody. However, the bridge and the final chorus are the highlight. This section gave me the payoff I wasn't expecting, but wish the earlier sections had built toward more consistently. Camila's lower tone sounds gorgeous here, and Lexi's high note is honestly one of the moments that saved the song for me. The beat is infectious, and there are parts where I absolutely understand why someone would want to dance to it. But my biggest issue is the chorus. I've seen other people complain about it, but I just don't love how repetitive it is. It crosses the line from catchy into slightly annoying for me, especially because the repeated word is chat. My personal bias definitely has a huge influence on my opinion, but I don't really love how normalized streaming culture has become an everyday language. This is a huge topic that my overly analytical K-pop brain probably isn't fully equipped to unpack, but hearing phrases like chat, am I cooked, or chat, what are we doing, constantly used in real life is genuinely jarring to me. It's funny in moderation, sure, but it's become so overused online that hearing it repeated over and over in a song makes me cringe a little. I know younger audiences are probably more immersed in that language than I am. It's not like I'm prehistoric, but for me personally, that aspect of the chorus wears thin very quickly. Now, zooming out from the song itself, this is where my bigger concern for the group comes in. I genuinely admire that the members liked this concept and were given the freedom to help shape it. That's huge. I've talked about wanting groups to have more agency to release things they actually like or feel their audience would enjoy, so on that level, this is a win. I'm not trying to take that away. But unfortunately, the comparisons to Katseye are inevitable. No matter what GIRLSET releases, there will always be a loud group of people claiming they're copying Katseye. Most of the time, I strongly disagree with that. This time though, I can at least understand why people are pointing it out. I'm not saying GIRLSET copied anyone, and I'm also not saying they don't have the right to explore hyperpop. One group cannot own a genre of music. But I do think the success of songs like Gnarly and the virality of Internet Girl and Pinky Up have influenced what companies perceive as attention-grabbing music. And that's precisely what worries me. Not that GIRLSET experimented, but that the industry may start rewarding the loudest, most chaotic, most insane internet slop music over songs that actually showcase the members' strengths. To GIRLSET's credit, again, Chat still feels more grounded than some of the other songs people are comparing it to. There's still personality and a sense that the members were involved in shaping it. It doesn't feel completely manufactured or soulless, but the timing also doesn't help the comparisons. Katseye are currently in the middle of rolling out their new mini-album, and their next single is dropping in a few days, I think. So when GIRLSET releases a song that leans into a similar hyperpop sound, it naturally feels more like direct competition, even if that wasn't the intention. This could have also been released for a million different reasons. Maybe the girls genuinely wanted to try something more current, or the company wanted to generate buzz ahead of a larger project. I don't know. And to be fair, I want to give the girls the benefit of the doubt. If this is a sound they genuinely wanted to explore, I have no problem with that. They should be allowed to experiment, but my concern about inviting criticism and unnecessary hate still stands. My biggest fear is that GIRLSET loses touch with the vocal forward identity that so many people, myself included, praised them for. These girls are incredibly talented, and that talent is still present on this single. But if this song becomes the blueprint moving forward, I worry the wrong lesson will be taken from it. We've already seen it with Katseye. People want those girls to sing, and I mean actually sing. I know I'm not alone in feeling tired of music that feels overly repetitive or designed for virality rather than long-term replay value. Not every song needs to be deep or serious, we've even talked about that in our last video. Funny, silly music is still important, but I don't want GIRLSET to dilute what makes them special just to chase a trend. And before anyone says it in the comments, yes, I know it's not that deep. I'm voicing this concern because I care about the group and because I want the rest of the album to be strong. And by strong, I don't necessarily mean that it caters to my personal taste. I just want music that feels intentional and true to the girls in whatever shape or form they want it to look like. If this is genuinely the sound they want to make, and if the members had meaningful input in creating it, then I will support them. I may not personally love every release, but I can still be happy that they're exploring creatively. What I don't want is for them to feel like they need to do this or that in order to stay relevant, because the truth is, they already have an audience. People are paying attention and fans are excited for their releases. They don't need to do the same thing as another group to earn that attention. So overall, Chat leaves me feeling conflicted. I don't dislike it in its entirety. I actually think there are several strong moments throughout the song, and I can see why some people are having a lot of fun with it. But it also leaves me with questions about where GIRLSET is heading musically. For me, the most exciting thing about GIRLSET over their last few releases was that they finally seem to be building a clearer identity. Vocally forward with a hint of R&B nostalgia but still distinctly their own. Chat doesn't negate that, but it does feel like a detour. Whether that detour is a one-time experiment or the beginning of a larger musical shift is something I'll be watching closely. At the end of the day, I'm still rooting for these girls. I want them to succeed. I want them to have the freedom to experiment and make the music they genuinely want to make. But I also want them to protect the qualities that made so many of us excited about them in the first place. Is that selfish? Probably. If their upcoming album can balance experimentation with strong vocals while establishing a clear sense of identity, then I'll be very happy. Chat may not be my favorite GIRLSET release, but it did succeed in making me curious about what comes next. To be honest, curiosity is probably the best thing a pre-release single can leave me with. I'm just hoping the album is more of a conversation and not just a superficial chat. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it and can see where I'm coming from. I genuinely do love these girls, and the fact they're promoting on music shows again shows me this is a much bigger release, or at least a more significant one. But thank you guys so very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Click that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a video. Tell me in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on Chat, and are you excited about the girls' future album? Because I'm very curious to see what it's like. Remember that I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye!